town. You guys ready for your next storyteller? He's a great comic. He's one of the co-hosts of the Mean Boys podcast, and one of my favorite people in the world. Keep it going for Dosch, everybody.
Thank you very, very much, Scott. Give it up for Scott, everybody. Thanks, too, for not only bringing me up to a tragedy, but an extremely avoidable one, it sounds like. It sounds like that all could have been averted. By the way, Miranda, if you're still here, I'd like to thank you. I really thought I was the only person in the world who was afraid of worms until just now. And I was walking around feeling like a complete bitch until just now. We should have started.
We're both bitches.
Oh, right. We should start meetings. There are many of us. Anyway. I would tell you guys a story. Thanks for having me. I want to tell you about the time I did ayahuasca in my studio apartment. I was driving on my way over here. I'm like, am I going to have to explain what ayahuasca is? It's like, Joe, you are going to a winery in a gentrified neighborhood in Eagle Rock. People know what ayahuasca is. They're on your page, Joe. Anyway, one thing I realized recently as I kind of gotten sober is I've kind of done a lot of drugs in my life. Psychedelics have been really important to me. I would say psychedelics have led me to three big pillars of things that are important that I believe about myself, that I know about myself. One, that I'm gay. Two, that I definitely believe God is real. And three, that I'm an alcoholic. And I'm going to tell you about the time I did ayahuasca in my studio apartment. First of all, people think, if you've ever heard anyone say, I'm going to fly down to Peru and do an ayahuasca ceremony with a shaman, then your friend is a dick. That is the stupidest. I guarantee you this person doesn't know what the fuck. You don't need to go. And guys, I would not drive from here to the west side to do ayahuasca. You can just order the shit and boil the two things, and that's, guys, I once tried to make vegan pudding and fucked the whole thing up, but I can make ayahuasca just fine. You don't need degrees, you don't need shit. My buddy, I mean, you can just order the things off the internet. My buddy ordered it. He once sued the NYPD. He's on a watch list. He ordered it. It was fine. It is not difficult to get ayahuasca in your possession. I'm not going down to South America and getting parasites and getting those little urethra parasites that swim up your people and watching. That happens, if you piss in open body water in South America, little parasites will swim up your urine stream and lock yourself in your dick. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, ayahuasca. First of all, you cook it up. You cook two things in your apartment. What it is, one, it's the bark that contains the DMT, and the other thing that contains an MAOI inhibitor. And all you do is you drink one and you drink the other, and guys, it is, like I just said, I'm a gay gentleman. I once ate out a male flight attendant's ass after a 6-hour flight from here to New York, and this was the worst I've ever, guys, it tastes like diarrhea and perfume. It is wretched. It's the worst thing I've ever put in my body. Interpret that however you will. And it makes you throw up. You are designed to throw up. If you drink it, it churns around, and it's not even it's not just that it tastes bad. It's that your body goes, what the fuck? This is not food. This is not even close to food. This is kind of one way or the other. After 30, 45 minutes, it kind of churns its way around, and then you puke. They call that the purge. Supposedly, it's to purge yourself of evil spirits if you're into that sage smudging bullshit. I don't know. I think it's just because you poison yourself when you do it. Let's weave some Cartesian science into this too. But after you do it, here's the thing. In all the times I've done psychedelics, I've never felt before like I have contacted another entity in the process of doing it. But when it comes on you, the first thing I said was hello. You feel like there's a thing coming into your mind. And there's another thing, other drugs kind of they change your mind, your brain becomes a new receptors up and opening up. This is not like that. This takes your brain somewhere. Your brain stays the same, but it's in another dimension, if that makes any sense. I'm really down the white people rabbit hole. But anyway, and what's really amazing to it is the word for it is, I'd say the word for it is alien. It is so weird. I remember after I told people who did it, and 6 months before this, I had a mushroom trip that made me believe in God again when I was peaking. At this point, I was if I go 1 millimeter further than where I'm going, my fucking soul is going to burst into flames. That's how profound that trip was in my life. However, after I did ayahuasca, when I was just raving about what it was like, I was like, dude, it makes mushrooms feel mundane. That's how weird it is. Fun aside to this, I did mushrooms like 6 months after this, and I was in kind of a shitty mood, and I swear to God, the mushroom was sort of like, did you call me mundane, motherfucker? I showed you God like a year ago. That's what you called me? I'm like, I was just kind of being metaphorical. I'm like, nah, motherfucker, I'm going to have you going up, and I'm literally like crying, like, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah. Again, that's another story. It's important to do, for the accuracy of the story, like, I'm not being hyperbolic at all when I say that when you take it, you talk to fucking aliens. You talk, there's like a bunch of things like moving around in it. I don't know if they're like, if this is like one entity I'm talking about. I don't know if it's multiple separate things, or they're all on like the same team, so to speak. But there was a figure that I remember like really appearing to me that I named Robot Jackal. And it's like a big, like it looks like a weird computer graphic from like 1988. It's this big silver rabbit wolf donkey face thing. And now here's another really weird part. There are two routes you can do in taking ayahuasca. Supposedly, this might be just like, Franklin Village bullshit, but like supposedly one of them is the male version, one of them is the female version. Supposedly we did the male version. It's called Syrian Rue, and I have to say I wouldn't have come to that conclusion unless someone told it to me, but I kind of get it. I do, because it holds you down, and it's like, it's not like it loves you, but it's not gentle. Like it holds you down and just jams love and alien knowledge in your brain, and you literally feel like it's like forcing you down. It's kind of hot actually, but anyway. And it's, what it does to you, or rather what you do to it, what it prompts out of you, is you sort of unfold. Well, let me back up. Like the way these things, their relationship to you, whatever these things in the other dimension are, the way their relationship to you is like, imagine if you had like a dog, right? And you were just sitting around your house and you saw your dog walking around one day, and it started like making a little potion in its dog bowl, like you would be if you were cooking the thing, and you were like, buddy, what are you doing? What are you cooking there? And then if he like drank it and he could sort of communicate with you on your level, and you like pick him up, and be like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Like that's what the aliens do to you. They're like excitedly petting you, is how I would describe it. And you kind of, you don't tell it your problems so much as you sort of like unfold to it. Like you don't say I'm worried about X, Y, and Z, but like you definitely like bear something to it. You definitely feel. You don't tell it all your secrets, but you feel like you're telling it all your secrets. And I swear to God, you'll tell it your deepest, darkest fears, and it just looks down at you like, fucking, what? All right? Like, imagine if a worm crawled up to you and said, I'm worried I'm not eating enough dirt, and I didn't reproduce yet. I'm worried if I don't, I won't be. And you'd be like, well, then don't do that, then. I don't know. Like, a friend of mine described it as the most benignly condescending drug ever. Like, it just makes you feel like an utter shithead for worrying about anything ever. And it's the most spiritually motivating contempt I've ever felt from another being in my life. So I do that, and I remember one thing, like after, like it's not like mushrooms or acid where those drugs like kind of come up and peak and they come back down. They like come in waves, and they like comes in and out. And so I do the whole trip, and afterwards I realized like I'm an alcoholic. I'm killing myself with booze, and I was. And I was kind of on it for a week, and then I totally fucked off on all that, and then drank for another year. And here's the thing. It's like, it's kind of dispiriting. Like, it's hard to call it a moment of clarity when you're like, yeah, an alien told me I'm an alcoholic. Like, how fucking clear are you really? But it's kind of dispiriting when literally, like we walk around life and we're so, like, confused, and we're just like, can someone just tell me, like, what the meaning of all this? And literally, like, a fucking being beyond my existence by leaps and bounds, like an angel, for all intents and purposes, came down and broke through the dross and told me precisely what my problem was, and I was still like, fuck you. Like, it was literally like, imagine if, like, the Apostle Paul, like, after the angel came and knocked him off his horse and, like, blinded him, instead of, like, going and preaching the New Testament, he just fucked off and wanted to, like, binge-watch House of Cards. That's, like, that's, like, the extent of human dickheadedness, really, I learned. Another thing, and this is something I haven't told anybody, not anybody, it's a couple people. The Robot Jackal thing, I have felt him, again, sober, since I've done it. I remember one day I was just really, really restless, and I was walking around, and I just felt like I need to meditate right now, And I swear to God, everyone, I started talking in tongues. I don't know what language this was. I I don't know what I was saying, but I definitely felt like I was literally sitting in my apartment going like, and I felt like it felt possessed. I swear to God. And like after that, like the same way it told me it was an alcoholic, it told me like you need to be less judgmental of people. Again, didn't do shit about that for a long time. And I was sober on that one. So like I literally got 2 angel appearances in my life, and it took me like a year to get up off my ass, which is sort of inspiring and sort of dispiriting at the same time. All right. Anyway, enough of me. Thanks everyone. I'm Joe Dosch. Thanks very much.
Joe Dosch, keep it going for him. Has anyone else ever tried